Oh wait, starting soon. Man, that stream thing, that is a cool animation. Only live. Yeah, we're live. Ooh, we already have a guest. We might have a guest. We might have a guest on the video. On the video chat, we got Nova Lance. But actually, it's just me, Neon Omen. Oh, we can't even see him. Can't even see him. Maybe I gotta put him in the view of the viewer. Godzilla. Ghidorah. Ghidorah. What am I gonna do when I build this deck? I'm gonna hit you with all that lightning. Gonna hit you with all that lightning. Ghidorah. We're building some Ghidorah tonight. Yeah, we're building some Ghidorah tonight. Okay, so you're gonna get to see my original King Mecha. Well, it's just a King Ghidorah deck, but it's also like not a King Ghidorah deck. So it's you'll know what I mean when I show it to you. The frustrating thing about the older Godzilla sets is that they really the older Godzilla sets, they really just didn't have good cards. There's no other way to put it. I think the cards, the first set I think came out in like 2015 or something, and then the second set came out years, like a year or two later, and then they didn't do anything for like 6 years. Is this Ghidorah? Is this Ghidorah? No, Ghidorah. Ghidorah! Where are you? I'm looking for you. I gotta find the King Ghidorah deck that we are going to edit. And if you're like, Neon Omen, why don't you have your deck ready? It's like, I do have the deck ready. Maybe I'm just excited to go live for everybody. Found it! Yeah! Alright. It's right between my... What deck is this? Right between Biolante and... I guess the Minerva team. And... Gundam. Seed. So this is my original deck. And it is maxed out. It looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing. And I'm really excited to use it. Well, I mean, what else am I going to say? I am so amped to use this today. Well, I was amped to play it when it was good, and now it's just not good. So I kind of just have to ignore it. I mean, this is kind of the most frustrating part about this deck, is that I have to replace it. Because it's just not good anymore. And it's one of those things, like, you don't want to say it, but when it's just so true and there's nowhere else to go from there, you're just like, come on, man. This microphone's pulling my shirt down. Gotta adjust the shirt, adjust the belly. Never had to adjust your belly before? Weirdo. Quickly. Nope, still pulling it down. It's a heavy microphone. Heavy duty. But the clip is probably one of the coolest things. Shout out to a special someone for getting this for me. Oh man, this deck's so mid. But like, I made it work. Barely, just barely. but I am like really upset I have to take this deck apart. Like I'm very upset. I'm legitimately upset because that deck is awesome. It looks gorgeous. It's fantastic. This old Ghidorah deck, look at that. The secret rare Mecha King Ghidorah. I got a play set of him but then they go ahead in the new set, they do the revival, which is cool. They make it modern. However, there's no cool foil to this one. It's like a regular rare. I mean, it's a master rare. It better be not. It better not be a regular rare. But I mean, and I mean, and of like yes, it does have a better effect. I get it. But at the same time, you're just like, why? Why do you have to be like this game? So as we can see, I have collected all a playset of the Parallel Dorak Contract X Rare. Such a beautiful card. You got the 3 Dorats. You get of course, the Ghidorah Lightning. As Jet Saber says, the BBBBs. And then you get the King Ghidorah flying in the background. That is a beautiful attention to detail. Now, I have a huge complaint. The Contract X Rare is gorgeous, flawless, not a problem. The X Rare secrets are probably the laziest things I've ever seen in my life. All I did is make full arts. That's it. It's just a full art. That's it. And they made the text black and they made the name bigger. I would much rather take some extra art. I'd much rather take something that is more flashy, more popping, but not just that, more meaningful. And you'll notice that they do the same thing for the movie Ghidorah, which of course we're repping the playset. And then we got the 2 new magic cards. Well, I guess that's the revival version, but this is the new magic card for the Godzilla series, at least. I'm so excited. I mean, it's really annoying to have to retire such a beautiful deck. Because, I mean, I did work really hard to collect these cards. I'm kind of at this like really weird spot with this deck where it served its purpose, but now it's kind of It's just so easily replaced. And that's another thing that I'm trying to figure out with like the special type of Battle Spirits game that I have, the Frozen in Time, the collaboration exclusives, is that I kind of had to really stretch the card pool sometimes, and I had to expand my creativity to spaces you wouldn't imagine. And I feel like I finally got this deck working, but at the same time, it barely does anything. And I feel a little bit legitimately awful taking this deck apart. Just because there's so much that's like legitimately good about this deck. There's a lot of good things. And I mean, I guess like from like this deck, there are a few things I could add. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could add this burst into the deck. I mean, I'm sure I could change out some cards for some revival versions if I really wanted to. It just... I was pretty proud of how competitive I was able to make this deck against my own other collaboration decks. But when I really think about it, this deck really just doesn't have anything special. I think you have to rely on really silly gimmicks to try to achieve any sort of consistency. And I guess saying that out loud, I think we're gonna have to purge everybody. Say, oh, come on, mouse. My mouse is lagging. Don't lag on me, mouse. All right, unplug. Say it with me, everyone. Replug. All right, mouse is still super laggy. All right, hopefully it's back. You start behaving there, mouse. All right. Got my translations pulled up right now just to make sure I'm putting the right cards in the right spot. You always got to make sure you're putting your cards in the right places, everybody. Don't ever put your cards in the wrong places. That could end in absolute disaster. Yeah, my hair looks pretty lame. I just got it cut, so I didn't style it. If you style your hair after you get your hair cut, I think you're cracked. I think you're insane. I just go and wash my hair because I hate that sticky feeling, and I hate having hair everywhere because it just itches. And if you say it doesn't itch, liar! So this is where we crying salute our King Ghidorah deck. It lasted a fair amount of time, but we're at the point with the Ghidorah deck where it's just not good. It's just not consistent enough. You have to play bad cards. You always feel like you're behind. You never feel like you can catch up with this deck. We are going to retire the Ghidorah deck. It's a sad day for all Ghidorah fans, but at the same time, I think Ghidorah fans are going to be able to rejoice because now that we're changing the Ghidorah deck, it's actually going to become a tier deck now. It's actually going to become a deck that can compete with some of these new Gundam decks that have contract advent. Some of these Digimon decks that legitimately just pump out a huge creature, huge spirit every single turn. And everything they do is consistent and gets you towards an extremely linear goal, but nonetheless the deck's consistent enough to accomplish that goal. And being able to accomplish your goal in Battle Spirits, mostly all the decks in Battle Spirits are pretty linear. They do one thing and you set it up to do one thing really well and you exploit the one thing. And some card games are like that, where you just exploit one thing or you have a... And it's not like even like a go-to play. It's like you literally just... I play this card, it gets me this card, and then I win. It can literally be that degenerate. And all these other decks are just going to be doing things every single turn. And this deck, it just played a card, passed. Half the time you couldn't attack because you knew if you did, you'd get blown out. Your search power was mid. Sometimes it would be helpful, but the spirits that you could make or the abilities that you got from those spirits just never felt like it was a long-lasting support. And that's going to be kind of the fun part about this new deck is the support in the deck is gimmicky and fun. And everything works towards the consistency that I like. And there's a lot of cards that are actually themed for the deck, for the cards. So ultimately, it's just way more enjoyable to look at these cards. And just the fact that the contract cards, they're just stupid. And don't get me okay. If you have seen the Digimon movie, the new movie, the one that just came, I hate when people just say the new. So if you've seen the Digimon 02 movie, the beginning or whatever it's called, that movie had so much potential to like actually do something with it was legitimately a Christmas special. And no one can say anything else. It was a Christmas special. That could have been 45 minutes and we would have been okay with it. but it was an hour and a half. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was happy to see everything I saw. I'm very happy. However, Digimon, name a franchise like Digimon that legitimately goes nowhere with their new shows. They had their original. It was literally they get to the fifth show, which was the first Disney produced one, Data Squad, I believe. And then after that, it falls off a cliff, like drastically. It's bad. It's really sad actually. Try was a train wreck. That is one of the worst shows I've ever watched in my life. It made me really sad to be a Digimon fan when I saw Try. And I am a huge Digimon fan. There is no reason they should have done that to Digimon. It did not deserve that. It did not deserve that. That was awful. Last Evolution Kazuna was honestly like it was good but mid. The the bonds are the stupidest idea. They're just I think it's just the laziest thing that they could have done. I didn't get it. They're not like even Digimon. I don't know. They're just made up rules. They pulled a Gundam and they just said space magic. But this time they just said Digimon magic and everyone's like, can't argue with that. Wouldn't want to be a bigot. Can't argue with that one, so it'd be like that. And that's how it was. Taking a water break. A lot of water. All right. Oh. One last card to unsleeve. Oh, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I'm sad. But I have to take my favorite cards out of my deck. Because there's actually a lot of like really neat cards that I paid a lot of money to get. And so like it's actually really annoying that I have to take this deck apart. How like it's annoying because I spent a lot of money on some really hard to get cards. Some of which I learned weren't as hard to have gotten if I would have known what it means to order cards, foreign cards. But nonetheless, I figured it out now, everybody. So Neon Owen's not getting ripped off no more. Yeah, that's a cheer. Yeah. What am I? I'm Lil Jon now. But anyways, we are. Ooh, oh, it hurts to take these out of the deck. It really does. What? Just look at this bad boy. Absolutely stunning. Perfection. Flawless. Absolutely flawless. And I have to take it out because they made a less holographic version of it that's better because it's updated. I'd be perfectly happy with the new art, but no new art. That's my interpretation, Bandai. No. It's gonna. We made it like this, so it's going to look like this. Understood? And you're just like, come on, Mike. And they're just like, we're gonna do it for you. And you're like, come on, like, you just do it for me, Mike. Like, I really appreciate it. And they're like, no, I'm going to do it for you. I'm just doing weird accents. I'm being a little silly. But in all seriousness, the foil on this latest set, only the contractors they put effort into. And if they do that to Gundam, wow, will they screw up. And I think they're at a really interesting spot with Gundam Because since they started doing the scenic cards, that's what everybody expects. Is that a bad thing? Absolutely not. Do I like the scenic cards? 1,000% yes. 1,000% yes. The scenic cards are fantastic. But you also get to the point you're like, how long are you going to do scenic cards for? When is the creativity going to come back? Because there's going to get to a point where the scenic cards are going to become the norm, just like the portraits were. Because they did those portraits for 2-3 years until they finally decided to start doing more scenic cards or duo cards or triple cards in some cases. So that's a really interesting thing for me. Or to me. Five to 3. Come on, Hurricanes. Put those Oilers in the dirt. It's just really interesting to me that they just chose to do it. I just don't get it. It bothers. Okay, it really bothers. I'm triggered, everybody. It could have been done a lot better, but instead they're just like, we're gonna full art it. Ooh, you get 0.5 millimeter more a card or picture, and we're gonna make the picture a little bit more poppy. Whatever. Hello, viewers. We are making Ghidorah. We're max rarity Ghidorah. We got max rarity over here. We're taking apart the old Ghidorah deck. The original Ghidorah deck. The Ghidorah deck that got us a lot of fun and entertainment at our cabin trips with Jet Saber. But the deck's no mo. The deck's no mo. We're moving on. We are moving on. And the good thing is that there's a lot of cards from this deck that do live in the next deck. Just as cracked versions of it. That's literally it. And that's half the reason why it makes me mad is you're just like, oh, so there's just more cracked cards. It's the same card art, but a modern effect. That's the revival part about it. Which is, I like revival, but at the same time, it's annoying when they pick X rares. Well, I don't know. I'm just being too picky. I like the new cards. I just wish they could have given it the special foil. But nonetheless, I kind of just got to learn to be happy with the fact that they just did it in the first place. So I think I'm just going to take my own advice and just say, you know what? I'm happy with what we got. I'm happy that I have new Godzilla cards to play with. New Godzilla cards that when we play with the other Gundams, that someone's not like, I got a Godzilla. Dropped it. Gotta do the inspection, everybody. Make sure it didn't get chipped on a corner. All right. Put the most beautiful cards in the cases. Of course, the 3 secret rare Ghidorahs coming out. Man, just look at that. Every secret rare Ghidorah card that's out there. Put the 2 mechas right next to each other. That is something. That is something. I'm all about my Ghidorah collection right now. All about it. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. That is a Ghidorah collection. That is sick. I'm so proud of myself. Man, I think I might have to take a picture of this. I mean, no one can say it's not hot. It's so hot. Now, let's see here. I just have to put these cards in upside down. And now we're going through just the sleeving process. Now, I don't have any proxies for this new deck. However, I just felt like the deck deserved to be in some sleeves. I felt like I was at the point like, well, it's ready to get put in some sleeves. There's a deck that I'm pretty much just demoting. Because like I said, there's really no reason for me to have... If the other deck is so awful that it literally feels like it's duct taped together. And it's like, all right, as long as the wind doesn't blow. Oh, and we have to go like 70 miles an hour to get there. We'll be okay. That is all. That is all. Jesus. It feels so good to watch you. Burnsies. Jesus. You skate over to that bench and you don't play for the rest of the game. Good old hockey, everybody. Good old hockey. Penguins lost tonight. I was bummed about that. Oilers are getting bombed, so that's okay with me. Anyways, enough of that hockey talk. You're here for trading. Oh, yeah. I think I may have biffed the card, but I think I'm also... I might... Nah, I'm tripping. But yeah, like I was saying, if the other version of the deck was actually like legitimate, good, competitive, and you feel like you can... If you... That's a deck where if like one of your... Like your first spirit dies in like the first 2 turns, you're just like, well, I've lost. I'm not coming back. I need this thing to live. And like literally like with this deck, you like really just like didn't block until you're at like 1 life, kind of, or like 2 life. Like you're like, you need those extra resources so bad, because other than that, you just have to pay all this cost for no benefits, and you get this cool new foil pat. Oh. You get this cool new foil pattern on them that I like. Almost there with the regular rares. Yay. Or regular commons. I am just starting to double sleeve my Battle Spirits cards, and I think it is kind of cool, honestly, to double sleeve now. I feel like I'm really trying to either preserve the sleeves or just make sure that the deck has maximum protection, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Look at all these beautiful... Man, why does my stream look so dark? Or is that just my screen? Maybe it's... Yeah, I think it's just my screen. I don't know, man. It's just a red moon looking thing. We got... Yeah, my magic cards. Advents. The discards. More advents. This deck is going to be a lot. I mean, it's going to be a super fun deck to play. So that's like another reason why I feel I have a little bit of angst, because I have so many decks that have never been played because they don't have translations in them yet. And I'm not like, oh, it's like lonely to those other cards. I mean, like, yes, but the main takeaway from that shouldn't necessarily be like, oh, there's going to be some lonely cards. It's, I'd really like to play Ghidorah cards and not feel like I'm going to lose every game. Because like I said, you play against like one of the Gundam decks, and out of the Gundam decks, there's like maybe, and this is no cap, there's maybe like one or two decks that are just awful. Like, and when I mean awful, I mean that their main strategy just is not consistent. That's really all there is to say. And it's just currently, just the main strategy is not consistent. It's not something I would recommend someone to go to or anything of that nature. It's just not that beneficial, I would say. Literally at all. Some of these cards are really hard to get out of these cases. And now my secrets. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Novalance is going to be so excited to practice with this deck now. So Novalance normally would play, when we would play kind of the Godzilla decks together, if we decided to do a Godzilla all-out arms attack, we would do Godzilla. Everyone picked a Godzilla deck. I picked Mothra. Novalance would do King Ghidorah. Jet Saber and Necrogear would always argue over who gets to play Mecha Godzilla. It was kind of funny, actually. I want to play it this time. Okay, well then I get Shin Godzilla. Okay. That's how the conversation would always go. And that's another thing is like, I actually was able to build a legitimate, original Mecha Godzilla Type 3 Kiro deck. And I get to keep that, and I'm actually going to keep that one together because it's actually really effing good. It's like, it's actually good. So, oh, do I only have two? I'm going to have to, one? Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm almost going to have to make some deck editing on stream. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So I got 39 cards in my deck. Now, I know everyone in the chat is going to roast. Where did I get that Godzilla mat from? I think that was Ultra Pro, I believe. Yeah, it was like Ultra Pro, I believe, 3 years ago. It was kind of when Magic the Gathering was doing their Godzilla collaboration with Godzilla, duh. And then they eventually, they have sleeves for this too. And now it's not there anymore. But anyways, everyone that plays this deck would roast me if I play 3 of the contracts. But I want to play 3 contracts because it makes the deck look pretty. I think it was adding in these extra magic cards that really effed me over. Because I didn't have them before because I actually had to collect them. Alright. Guess what? We get to turn this into the deck editing arena. Deck editing, I like to edit my deck. I am going to edit my deck. Come get your deck. Alright. I am gonna put everything to the side. Everything to the side. while I build my deck. We'll put all, I want to put all the things that kind of do similar things together. So, man, I'll put my magics right next to each other. Magics. Discarding cards. Magics. This is a searcher, so consistency. This is a discarder. This is kind of a discarder. This is a consistency card. Another consistency card. Blower upper. Consistency and like life saving. And just actual power. Just legitimate raw power. A legitimate deck that's just, oh, I'm powerful. I like powerful decks. Alright, well, I like my powerful deck, but I only have one spot. And I have 3 Dorats that I want to play. Now let me go ahead and read Dorats. I'm tripping over here for a second. Alright. The Future Pet Dorat. When this card is in your soul state, you can contract Abaddon to it. When you do, put any amount of cores from your field reserve to the adventing card. Soul state contract for Advent Spirit. Level 1-2, either attacks that can't stack. When your Geeter refreshes via an effect, you can send up to 3 core besides the soul core from your trash to any of your Geetera. Not bad. And it doesn't say once per turn, so anytime you attack, core boost 3 from your trash. When attacks, counter boost 2 if the spirit isn't braved and you have 5 counters or more, the spirit can refresh. If you have 10 counters or more, the spirit can be refreshed again. So he can refresh like three times. He can just keep attacking. He's just blasting lightning everywhere. Dorat is legitimately insane, and I am not complaining. I am very happy. I'm very happy that they made S tier Godzilla cards. I am very happy. I'm very happy, everybody. But I'm reading the cards to y'all. That's insane he can be refreshed that amount of times. So obviously we're going to be doing some adventing onto him. But we're also discarding. Now, I think I want to play 3 of each of the adventing spirits at least. And that's because you need, I just want the consistency. I just want to be able to advent. If I can advent, the deck will move. I'll get closer to being able to win. And the other part is when your contract advents your side, they just go to your pre-advent state. So they don't completely die. They don't ever completely leave. They are legitimately just your companion for life. I forgot the term they use in Magic the Gathering. Your commander. That's pretty much it. Just never dies. Just goes back to a different zone. And just does that forever. So, the other thing about that, maybe it's that light. I don't think so. It'd be really sad if that light was effing me over. I've added a lot of cards for consistency, and I have a lot of cards for defense in this deck. And I kind of wonder about like this card. How necessary is it for me to blow stuff up? So let me look at some of these blowy uppy cards. Well, let me look at some revival. So I'll look at Ghidorah, whatever this one, Super Space Kaiju. Revival. Flash, including your Soul State pre-advent. If I control a future pet Dorat by paying 4 or 2 ruby reduction, discarding this card from your hand, activate the when summon effects, or when summon when attacks effect on this card. It's one summoner attacks effect. Once per turn, same name. Destroy an opposing 7,000 BP or less spirit. And when destroys, draw a card. If you have 7 counters or more, instead destroy an opposing 1 symbol spirit and draw 2 cards. So once you get to that 7 counter mark, the chances of you destroying the variety of spirits that you can destroy expands tremendously. And the drawing effect is insane. So one of the things about these decks that's a focus for me is, believe it or not, draw power. Because if you run out of cards with some of these decks, it's legitimately fatal for you. Like, there's no coming back. And with these newer cards and with these revivals, if you aren't ready to combat some of these things, your chance of survival is very minimal. If your deck dies to one, like, loot your spirit, your one card dies and you lose, then you're never gonna be competitive. Now this Mirage over here is cool because you can get cards from your trash back if you just do the main effect. But if this is our Mirage, when you pay the cost and discard a Ghidorah from your hand, you can send every corp that costs 3 or less Grandwalker Nexus to the void. So that is an annoying effect. And the fact that you can get things back from the trash is also insane. Actually insane. Actually cracked. I like that effect a lot. And I gotta keep these other ones in here, so let me look at... Like, this draw 2 cards is okay, but without more Dorats, I don't know, maybe... And that's literally something I was thinking about at work today. Like, am I just being really stubborn wanting to play 3 of each just to flex? Part of me is like, well, duh. And the other part's like, figure it out, Neon Omen. It's a cool Magna Angemon. So, uncommon. That's not cool. So let's see here. I'm going to look up this Ghidorah. Kaiser Ghidorah number 2. Flash, including being in the Soul Straight pre-advent condition. If you control any future pet Dorat by paying 6 with 4 ruby reduction and discarding this from the hand, activate the Wind Summoner attacks written on this card. When Summoner attacks, ignoring the BP bonus of Braves, destroy an opposing 15 or less Spirit or Ultimate. Also, once per turn, say name by paying 3 cost, refresh one of your Ghidorah. So your Ghidorah can get 3 cores back. This can refresh it again. So I wonder if the easy thing is if I take one of each of these out. But then if I do that, I think that this card is going to get affected, Monster X too. I'll read that right now. So Monster X number 2 over here. It's a cool looking card. Let me show it off to everybody. Monster X number 2. Look at those eyes. It's a great looking card. Great looking card. However, let's read its effect together, everybody. We're heading over to Chrome. All right. It's a Mirage. Cost 2, which can be beneficial because I could bounce this back if I need to get something back from the trash. While your Ghidorah is attacking, the opponent can't end the attack step via effects. Okay, so that's already an unfair card. Because Ghidorah's main ability is to refresh and all three heads, chomping again and again and again and again, and an endless assault. I get it. I get why these refresh abilities are great, and especially when you're spending all your core kind of on one spirit, hoping it's going to tank through things, or maybe you have multiple spirits, but you're just hoping they're going to tank through things. That can be helpful. Level 1, 2, 3. So if it's a spirit, either attacks at once per turn. When a Ghidorah is discarded from your hand by paying the cost, you can summon that spirit card. When a Ghidorah is discarded from your hand by paying the cost. Okay, so when you pay the cost to discard them, you can summon that spirit card without paying the cost, but you can't use the when summoned. So if this is on the field, and your Dora is in your pre-advent condition, and I use these, I can play them for free. That also seems unfair. Why does this deck have to be so annoyingly good? There's so many cards in this deck that you look at, and you're just like, wow. They can do a lot. And then at the same time, you can be like, I'd like a little bit more, please. Well, sometimes you just read some weird stuff on the internet. And you're just like, well, I could have gone all night without reading that. All right, back to building my deck. X-Rare, High Dimensional Kaiju Ghidorah. Flash, either attack step. If you have 7 counters or more by paying 6 with 3 ruby reduction and discarding this card from your hand, activate its burst effect. Destroy 3 opposing spirits or ultimate, totaling 30,000 BP. And the effects of spirits or ultimates destroyed can activate. After the effect resolves, summon this card without paying the cost. So the effect just has to resolve. So it's going to summon itself regardless with that own ability. So either you... So that's another card. I mean, yes, your Monster X summons it anyways, but I get the benefits. Attacks, destroy an opposing Nexus and draw a card for each symbol on that destroyed Nexus. Too bad it doesn't say Grandwalker Nexus, because that would have made it actually super good. So this is just the frustrating point where I'm at. It legitimately feels like you need to play 3 of each of these. Well, I mean, because if I drop down to these 2, technically I still have 7 cards, but it's just that excitement that you're actually going to be able to pop off kind of goes away. And it is kind of disappointing. Now, the other thing is that one of our consistency cards, King Ghidorah 64 right here, when summoned, counter boost 1, then reveal 3 cards from your deck top. At a cost 4 or more Ghidorah among them to the hand, discard the remaining cards. Level 2, all your Ghidorah can't be returned to the hand or deck by opposing effects. It's an easy card to underlook because of its cost, its low rarity. It's after it does its when summoned gimmick, it's drops off a cliff in production after that. You really don't want to put core on it after that. But at the same time, it's another spirit that could get destroyed to trigger this guy that's sitting right on top of him. So that's kind of the frustrating part of where I'm at in this deck. I really want to play 3 Dora. It's really important for me to play 3 Doorat. But at the same time, I understand why a lot of decks only play 1. I'm playing 3. I think the way to go is you take out one of each of those. Because you still... Or do you take out the Monster X2? Because the Monster X2 lets you summon them. But at the same time, I'm also playing this magic card that can get things back. So maybe I'm being too greedy with the Kaiser and cost 4 guy over here. Maybe I am being too greedy with them. Because I forgot if the... Let me check to see if the revival one counter boosts. Because that's a really important part about this deck now, is that they gotta counter boost for them to be relevant. If you're not counter boosting, you get really far behind. No, it's... So it gets a additional benefit if you're at the 7 counters, but if you're not there, you will not get that benefit. So with taking that into consideration, we still have 7 cards to discard, technically, because King Ghidorah is going to take care of himself. Technically, if I want, I can recycle these cards. Now let me check Kaiser Ghidorah one more time. I don't know. They're just so good, though. They're just so good. But I guess my advents bump these effects. Because like it's a 2-part deck. 2-part effects. Essentially, like these, like you advent and get extra abilities from these, which pumps and gives your ability to use your discard effects. So your discarding ability is a secondary thing. It's just one of those things like, I really like to have their effects. I understand, I guess, why the Monster X is pretty important because I want to take bouncing that into consideration. And it's just right now looking at these 2 cards. I think it's literally my only option. Unless I just go down 2 of these. Because I think I prefer the Kaiser Ghidorah more. This revival's cute because it can do a cheeky draw too. I like the surprise draw too on that. Because I'm already drawing a lot with this magic card. I gotta remind myself that. I'm drawing a lot with this magic card. I'm searching with this card. Do I want the draw power? Because like, I should be getting to my counters pretty decently high because I do a lot of things to refresh. Because there's so many other cards in this deck that, like, if they're not at 3, you're just like, why are they not at 3? And I like the combination of magic cards I play. I like that I play the Diamond Wall Revival. I like that I play this red draw card. It's obviously the art is phenomenal on both. Absolutely stunning, absolutely gorgeous. Makes me pretty happy too, honestly, just looking at the art. So, kind of in that spot right now where it's just so... It's really entertaining to look at, but when I'm trying to read all the abilities and try to zero in on what I want to do, I feel like I can't touch these. I feel like I need all the contracts in order to stay consistent. I can't touch these, and I can't touch these, which really just leaves these and these. I'm not going to touch any of my magic, so then it leaves these. And then it comes down to, I want to touch this, but if I take this out, these become less valuable because you can't summon them for free. I don't want to take out the card that is additional consistency. That seems stupid. I only have to take out 2 cards to make this deck work. I guess the Revival Planet Gorath, I think I reveal 5 cards and add 1. So I think it's like actually super good. So let me double check. If that's the case, I gotta quit. I gotta get my fingers on my butt and just figure it out. I don't even know why I said that. When deployed, reveal 5 cards from your deck top. Among them, add a Ghidorah or Monster X and a Monster X to the hand. Return any remaining cards to the deck bottom. Your attack step, all your red spirits gain plus 3,000. Also, once returned, where your Ghidorah Monster X will leave the field due to opposing effect. By discarding 2 cards from your hand, all of them remain on the field in the same condition. Because I'm legitimately just weighing the field presence, but I think this card counter boosts. I think because that counter boosts, I think there's no way out. There's no other way out. There's no other way out. It has to be this way. I think it would be stupid to play, because if I could do 2 of these and 2 of these. But I like the draw that this gives. I like the draw that this gives because I'm pretty sure this one gives +1 counter boost C1 attack. When summon counter boost 1, then reveal 3. So you're just like, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I want a counter boost and then gain consistency? You know what I mean? Like that. That seems counterproductive. It's not a counter boost. So that means I'm stuck with these 2. I just don't want to take out the Kaiser. Like, it bothers me, everybody. It bothers me a lot. I don't want to take out the Kaiser. Just put these Dorats in these sleeves yesterday, and I'm already taking them out and putting them into their big boy sleeves. Dun 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 dun. Oh, here they are. The Dorats have joined the game, everybody. Here we are. Look at that. Absolutely spectacular. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of myself. We did it, stream. We put the deck together. Now I'll put it together before I double sleeve it. So let's go Nexus. Then I'll put Magics on top. And then I will let's do my discarding ones first. Or I'll do my discarding guys. All right. Oh, I'm so proud of myself. What was it? 0, 1, 2, 0, 2, 3, 9. What is this? 7. So once you get to 7, that's when your deck gets to do your cute stuff. All right, viewers, we put it together. It's here. It's gorgeous. You are absolutely going to love it. You are absolutely going to adore it. If you want to see some of the most rare, if you want to see some of the rarest cards from the Godzilla series ever printed in Battle Spirits, you came to the right spot. Come on, camera. So we got the 3 secret rare Dorats, the contract X rare. So this is all about your consistency. And now we get into the contract advents. We got 3 secret rare machine claws. You can barely see the claw. It's like right behind the name. You can kind of see it here-ish, right above it. But they did their best to make sure you couldn't see the, the thing it's named after. Here is arguably a better art on a way worse card. I mean, it does save you from dying, but it's just not much exciting other than that. This guy lets you attack a lot, so you just get to keep refreshing. This is all about the Spirit of Ghidorah. I like that card a lot. This is your kind of your starter advent card. This is the one that slowly starts your fuel, slowly starts your engine. Your burst, this is the one from the Netflix trilogy. This card you can also, it just does big blowy uppy, and there's easy ways to get it back. Super effing good. Then you got your 2 Kaisers. These cards you can discard to get additional blowy uppy effects. We got 2 Super Space Kaiju Ghidorahs. It's a good card. It does blowy uppy. It can plus you cards, but you don't want it to be too cloggy. 3 64s because you want to counter boost. You want to get easy advantage. Monster X, it's an additional plus off of Planet Gorath. It makes it so that you can continuously onslaught and attack your opponents. And it looks dope. It's a Mirage 2, which can let you bounce another card. 3 of the demoted X Rare to Master Rare Mecha King Ghidorah. This card is insane. It comes out of nowhere and it F's your opponent up. It's so good. Then of course right here is you got that beautiful beam that you can see there. The Revival Diamond Wall for Mecha King Ghidorah. You got I'm going to look up this card's name, so I never forget it. SD13. 4th Bright Draw. So 4th Bright Draw, I got it right here, the Ghidorah version. We play 2 of that. You want to have some drawing consistency, but you don't want to overload your deck with that. You want to have... Now some people are consistency. I like consistency in numbers because I like trying to be ready for multiple different situations, not just one situation. 2 of the Gravity Beam, and that is going to help you get cards back. It also has other abilities that can fuel other things. 3 Planet Gorath, that of course is just for your consistency. That allows you to dig, and that allows you to get the cards that you want into your hand. Phenomenal card. The cards that we're getting in this Godzilla set are actually absolutely, they're just absolute blessings. Now I'm going to double sleeve them. Just keep them all protected the best that I can. Eventually, I am going to re-sleeve this deck, so it's like, Neil Nolman, why are you sleeving this deck? Why are you going through all this trouble? Well, I'm running out of space, and it just felt right. Especially when you finally just complete the rest of the deck, you get the rest of the cards. You finally got your deck maxed out, you're all amped, you're all hyped out, and you're just like, I just want to see how it looks together. I want to see it all together in all its glory, and that will make me happy. So that's what I'm doing. I'm making me happy. I'm making you happy. What else? I mean, tell me somebody else that has max rarity Ghidorah. Just tell me. Because I got to put it together. It was a really fun time putting this deck together. There are, and I'm gonna be honest. I suspect more Godzilla sets. I suspect we're gonna get a second Godzilla set, similar to how they did the original 2 Godzilla sets. And what I think is going to end up happening is I think we're going to get Mothra as a contract pre-advent. I think we're going to get, and I think we're going to, or maybe it'll be like Mothra Batra Larva. Maybe it will be like both of them, because maybe, I think that would actually be way more exciting if it was a Mothra and Batra Larva, because I just don't want Batra to just be a supporting card. I think it would be cool if you got to see which, if it could go either which way, because, and it would be similar. Oh man, it could be very, very similar to the way that Bandai or Battle Spirits did the, man, I keep slipping on its name, Tiger and Bunny set. Because in the Tiger and Bunny set, they had these like multi cards. They had these like these dual cards with like, there were 2 people on them. So they'd kind of have like an effect that would each be in the flavor of each one, and the parallels would include one of them for each of them or something. It was interesting like that. I guess they could kind of do that for that style of card. I don't know how much fun it would be, but I mean, Battle Spirits is good at getting us to spend our money on their cards anyway, so I'm sure they'd figure it out. I don't think it'd be a challenge. But I do think it would be a fun way to do stuff. Maxed out. Man, some of these cards are going in here. It's difficult. Novalance is going to be so happy to shuffle this deck up and look up her translations and figure out how to master the contract pre-advent gimmick, because we don't play with those cards yet, because I have 15 decks right now, if not 20 decks that are in the shop, as I like to call it. They're just not being used, or they haven't been put in sleeves, or they don't have translations. Soon, I'm going to have 60 Battle Spirits decks. It's going to take, and by soon, I mean like in a month, because it takes a long time for me to put all these rare cards together in nice, neat, fun, playable piles, also known as decks, also known as sleeve decks. Also known as translations, because there's so much effort that I'm putting into this that nobody even knows, except for like Novalance and a couple of the other Gundams know about things like that. And this is such a huge adventure for me. It's such a huge journey, but when it's done, the satisfaction is going to be outstanding. It's going to be incomparable, and I couldn't tell you how much I'm looking forward to that, because that change, that difference, that different pace, it's going to be hard to step away from. And it's going to be something that everyone's going to get used to. And I'm really excited for us to have huge Battle Spirits games where we literally have F. Put this one in the right way. I wonder if I did that with the other Dorat. I wonder how many cards I put in the right way. Uh-oh. Well, this one's put in the right and or wrong way. Well, let me look at you, Dorat. No, you're put in the right wrong way. What a beautiful deck. I mean, it's hard to just not keep saying that. But I have such a huge plan, and I'm going to have 60 Battle... I mean, I already have the decks. They're already built. I have 60 Battle Spirits decks, maxed out, already built. maxed out besides the secret double X rares from Gundam and Godzilla. Other than that, everything's maxed out. I have all the secrets for everything. I have legitimately everything maxed out. This is just, it's just so beautiful to look at. Now, let me think. Is it one of these? Here we go. Here we go, everybody. So, my original Mecha Godzilla deck, I took that apart last stream as I took it apart. So what I did with my Mecha Godzilla deck essentially is that I took apart the Mecha Godzilla. Well, I took the Type 3 Kuro cards I had and the Mecha Godzilla cards from the original set, mashed them together, made a deck out of it. I had them split up because there was, I don't want to say a lot of card diversity, but there was enough. There was enough to where like I could kind of split it up into two decks. Now that they've made just better cards, I'm like, why the F am I splitting this up? This is not intelligent, and I kind of just moved on from it. And that's all I have to say about that. Like, just looking at these cards, I want to play this so bad, this Versus card. You have no idea. It's beautiful. The effect is mid, though. You destroy a 10,000 or less, and if you control another Godzilla or Ghidorah, you draw a card. I'm kind of envious that the Mecha Godzilla deck can kind of play the Versus card with ease. But I also had this Godzilla Mothra deck that I'm taking apart. So I don't know if I just want to, what deck I kind of want to put into these sleeves. Because it's like plant dragon sleeves. And my plant was, I guess, the Mothra. I guess the new Godzilla deck is like half green, so I guess I could put that Godzilla deck in. Let's do that. Let's put the new Godzilla deck into these cases. Alright, and it's right to the left. Did I put that back together? I did not. Zoop. Clunk. Snap. Crackle. Alright, and then I go over here and I look for Goji. I found Goji. What do I gotta go and grab my Goji? Don't look at me grabbing my Goji. Don't look at me while I'm grabbing my Goji, yo. You a Goji grabber? Why are you grabbing that Goji? Man, I feel like every time I start singing, I lose viewers. I keep trying to check my comments to see if I have any engagement. Oh, we got our new Gundam card. We got Gundam Harute. It's a rare. It's 6 cost. All right, translate it for me. Translate it for me. Well, eventually, son. I mean, it's an okay looking card. It looks okay. Not the best. Not the worst. But nothing that I'm like, oh my god, that card looks cool. It looks cool, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it looks, but like, not like super cool. Why can't I figure out what I want to look at? Flash, both attacks up. HOPT, return when it costs 5. Plus CB or Federation bottom, summon with 1 cost. On summon attack, discard this 1, destroy spirit with lower cost. That's a weird card. flash both attacks up. HOPT. Return 1 cost. 5 or more. Celestial Being or Federation of the Bomb. Summon with 1 cost. Okay. On summon or attack, discard 1, destroy spirit with lower cost. Why would I want to discard 1? What makes your opponent discard 1? That'd be like actually annoying. Alright. Gotta look at these Godzilla cards. I'm getting sorry everyone, I get distracted when I see shiny cards. And I also gotta remember to click the right stuff when I'm streaming because I feel like I always click things to get distracted. We got our max rarity Godzilla. Yeah, we got max rarity Godzilla deck for you right here. Chill. Max rarity Godzilla. So we're gonna do the same boring thing and unsleeve this entire deck because it's honestly uninspired and kind of super boring. I tried to make a fun deck and I mean, is it fun? Was it fun? Yes. Is it good? I'm just doing it one at a time because then I switch the orientation around and do it for the other stuff. And I guess I don't really care about the translations. I will sort them just in case any of them are, well, no, because eventually, I don't know. I guess I will for the time being. Just in case I do use the cards again in another deck, I can take the translation and know where to put it. Because eventually we're going to do all color translations. That's one of the secrets that I have. Is that we're going to do a all color translation. So it'll be so easy for people to read the abilities of their cards. They'll know what they're doing. They'll know how to play. They'll feel more confident. They'll enjoy the cards more, enjoy the game more. And that's honestly what I'm going for right now is I want people to enjoy the cards. I want them to enjoy the game. I want them to be interested in playing Battle Spirits. I want them to look at the cards and be like, oh, that's, I did not know that existed, or that's really neat, or I learned something, or you educated me. That's what I'm really looking for when I play this game, is I look for people that have like a huge respect for some of these IPs, and they're just like, oh my, like, this is insane. Got my Mothras that, who knows, man. There's a lot of cards that I'm like actually considering from this deck, like keeping with the Godzilla deck. Because there are some cards that are not that fun to play that you're like, well, I guess. What was that card in the, was that a card in the Mothra deck that did that, or is it just the Godzilla deck? And I was like, this is so easily replaceable. Yeah, replace. Oh, damn. Gosh, I hate that song. In every like 90s movie. Yeah, unreplaceable. Am I gonna get copyright strike? Because of my great singing. Alright, we got them all out of the sleeves. Or outer sleeves, that is. Alright. Now I take the cards out. Take the cards out. Pick you out. Yeah, where are my cards at? Out of my... I gotta quit singing. People keep leaving when I start singing. And this wasn't, like I said, the reason why I'm taking this deck apart and putting this other deck into it for now, this deck is bad. There's no other way around it. I had to stretch this deck's imagination so far. I had to do so many. I had to literally explain it like, why does this deck play like 90% of cards that other decks play? I'm like, all right, there's only one way for me to make this deck work, and to try to make it work for this one card, which is Godzilla vs. Mothra. Because I was like, well, I need to have Godzilla cards in a Godzilla vs. Mothra deck. Because I was like, I was supposed to just put in a Mothra deck, but there's not a lot of Godzilla cards that are Mothra compatible. So I kind of just banging my head against the door and just trying to be very stubborn. Because there's not really a lot of there's not really Godzilla cards that are Mothra compatible. And I'm just supposed to play it in a Mothra deck. I mean, I think what I might do, I think I figured it out. I think I just might do the burst strategy to play other Godzillas, I guess. Because there's great Godzilla burst cards that I feel can get you a lot of progress from zero effort. You just wait for your opponent to do something. You're like, you hurt yourself. How does this make you feel? And if you said in pain, I would agree. But guess what? I don't even have to feel your pain. And they're like, how inconsiderate. And you're just like, I don't have to feel considerate. And it's this card right here. I have a feeling that this card is going to get ridiculously more valuable from the style of battle spirits that I want to play. And I technically could play this card in my Mothra Batra deck, and I just got like a huge brain blast, so that got me pretty hyped. Pretty hyped. That card even has a revival. Man, there's just... This deck was just me just trying so hard just to make up a cool deck to utilize additional more cards. Show mod icon. Not now. Just waiting for that Gundam ability to come out in English. Translate for me, please. Come on, guys, we're friends. In this card, it works with the Grandwalker Nexus so well, but the Shin Godzilla deck is so effing packed. And it is kind of annoying that... And I think, like, I get it. They have to not make collaboration cards like regular set cards, because you can't force people to like a collaboration if it's meta. And what I mean by that, it's if the Godzilla cards are the best cards, but you don't like Godzilla, you like the regular game, you like the cards that they make in the regular game, it can be very difficult for you to want to play. And you're just like, well, I don't care about Godzilla, and I don't want to play Godzilla, so I'm not going to. And you're not forced to play anything, but you also got to be like, well, if I want to some people are competitive, and if you want to compete, it'd be like that. You don't have a choice sometimes. Competitive video gamers like Call of Duty players, Halo players, you are forced to keep playing the new game. Same for fighting game players. You are forced to keep playing new games for the most part. Now, of course, you can always argue, yeah, but people have been playing Melee for ages. I'm like, there are some people, there are groups of people that like their vintage games. I'll never discount that. But you also have to take into consideration what type of effort that you might have to put in order to get together with those groups. In order for you to get together with those groups and do those and enjoy those activities. I'm going to put this guy to the side. I might not play him. I feel like I might have a lot better cards. Like, I like counter boosting, but like if I'm already playing 3 of the Contract Advent, There might be other ways. There might be other ways. And it's kind of funny that I'm already playing silly Rodans and silly Mothra larvas. The Mothra larva, I think, core boosts me too. It helps me get out. Helps me get ahead. Oof. By a lot. Makes me happy. The Heisei Godzilla. Now this revival card, actually this revival Nexus card, wow, I brought that up real fast. Sorry about that, viewers. This card actually has some like t-shirt premium Bandai special, so in a few months when that ships out, I'll have to look out for that card online. Hopefully it's foil. The art's kind of not my style, but premium Bandai, man. Don't get me started on premium Bandai. I'm a sucker. I'll buy all your stuff, premium Bandai. I'll buy it all. Taking out all these super expensive, beautiful foil Godzilla cards. Brand new Godzilla cards. Not brand new, but the latest set Godzilla cards. Came out in September, end of September, I want to say. Took me a little bit. No, Neon Omen, you gotta put it upside down. Upside down, Neon Omen. Gosh, what a beautiful card. I'm so excited to finally see these X rares in their sleeve, ready to play, ready to battle. Secret rare contract spirits. I find it interesting that they removed the X to try to give you more picture. It just doesn't really work for me too well. I think that the set could have been. I think the foil techniques could have been way more utilized. But it does feel good to own them now. It feels good to not have to think about them all day and all night. Because that is not a fun thing either, is obsessing over, how am I building my deck? Gotta build my deck this way. Gotta deck this, gotta deck that. And you're just like, oh, man. All right. Oof. Secret rare Godzilla cards, everybody. It's just so gorgeous. And I have 4 sleeves left. What? 4 spots in this deck. The contracts, these guys. I mean, counter boosting. You got a lot of things that counter boost. But let's see how aggressive that the counter boost wants to be. Because if like the Ghidorah deck, you're just like, your threshold is 7 before everything starts popping off for the most part. Baby Goji. Level 1, 2. All red symbols on your field are also treated as green. Also, while you can have 10 counters or more, all your spirits gain an extra red symbol. So you can have 2 red, 2 green symbols, whatever. When attacks, counters boost 2 at level 1, 2. Then if you have 8 or more, during this battle, the spirit's BP destruction effects can only be prevented by heavy armor or ultra heavy armor. After this effect resolves, destroying 5,000 or less spirit or ultimate. Let's see here, Godzilla. Now, I like the the revival version of the Kaiju King Godzilla, where you can destroy things on your turn, but it's... I'm greedy. That's just too passive for me. It's way too passive. I want to be way more aggressive with this deck. It's not good enough at all. It's so funny that like the Crystal Zone's a reprint because you legitimately can't make that card better. The Crystal Zone's cracked as it is. You can't make the Crystal Zone better. You can't. And if you do, then the card's legitimately on crack. It does kind of bum me out that this plays... It feels less shiny because I don't play the Shin Godzilla cards, or not the Shin, the SP cards in it. Instead, I went with the Godzilla Earth series because I felt like that card cares about the counters more than the others. I feel like that there's ulterior motives that I can have. There's different paths. I like decks that I can play 3 or 4 paths. So if my main idea, my main strategy gets discombobulated, I have other options. Alright, now I gotta look at 65, yeah. So you draw a card, counter boost 2. Your Godzilla's attack, your opponent can't end this attacks at VFX. It's okay. Would I rather counter boost 2, or would I rather try to like... let's see here. Like Revival Space Godzilla. If you control a Nexus, it comes cost 6. Which attacks, destroy a 20,000 or less Spirit Ultimate. And draw a card. No attacks, draw 2 cards. Kings 3 racks. 3,000 for each card in your hand. It's insane. It's just so much better. It's just such a good card. The Nexus is okay. That's really it. All you really get for your support in this deck. All the other stuff is kind of stays in the other deck. Godzilla vs. Mothra really isn't for this deck. It doesn't progress this deck. Godzilla 2004, so Final Wars Godzilla. It's another card that you don't really discard it. Or you don't really put... It doesn't really go to your trash often. I get that, like, you can get additional reduction, but I just feel like you won't get your counters up to 10 that fast. Godzilla 54, the high save and attacks, counter boost 1, then you reveal 3 cards from your deck top. Gosh, yeah, that's so good. Oh my gosh, high save Godzilla is so ridiculous. Godzilla 2, you need to play it because it's an Advent. Anguirus. 2 cost to summon the Raj. You can, okay. So you pay 2 costs to summon that, and then you just get something for free. That's so good! And destroy it. Maybe I'll just up the count on those. Maybe I'll just put in 3 Anguirus and 3 Mothra, because dang, those effects are good. You only play 2 of these? That's a big possibility. It's a big possibility, everybody. Alright, Godzilla Jr., SP Anguirus, Desghidorah. Oh man. That's, I also, yeah, there's also just a Ghidorah that we just don't play. In summon, you can destroy poison spirits as well as PP, and it destroys draw 2 cards. Godzilla 89. This Godzilla Vespiquen Rex. It's like good, but like at the same time, I'm like, there's just better. There's just better than that card. Kaiser Ghidorah, Gigan Rex, Mothra Larva. I think you do core boost 2 from each of the spirit among your Godzilla spirits. Then when summon by an effect, have exhausted. God, they're so okay. I'm probably playing the 8. They're just too good not to play. And you summon them, so like you use them once. You don't keep bouncing them back. Phyllis. And summon counter boost 1, core boost to this spirit, another Godzilla. So a lot of this deck does like to core boost. And then I would play Violante because it's treated as a Goji. Gosh, that card's good. So I should put in one of each of those cards because they're just good. But do I don't really know if I really don't want to play it. I just don't. It's stupid. It's just a stupid looking card. I hate it, okay? I'm biased against Godzilla 65 for its dancing. It's just way too gimmicky for me, and it's not neat. Grrr! I mean, I legitimately almost just want to play this Burst Nexus just because it's a burst. And just put in the 2 of the other cards and 2 of that and just call it a day. Because those cards are legitimately good. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So I'm at the spot where I'm thinking about what I want to do with my Godzilla deck. And I think what I want to do is I think I want to put in 2 84 bursts Now, I don't play a lot of I don't play a lot of magic cards. Do I want to play Soul Draw? Maybe I play, okay. I think I figured it out. Because this draws me 1. Soul Draw could get me 3 cards. I like drawing 3 cards. I like the Nexus Revival. This card's ridiculous. These cards are so good, but at the same time, do I want more diversity? Or do I just want to do the same thing over and over, which is Advent, which I technically want to do, because you just play 2 of your regular cores, it treats it as Adventing, and then you kind of get to do something else kind of stupid. But it does get your counters up faster, and you need 7 counters for him to go off. Let's see here. But I mean, you have a lot of things, I guess. I think I counter boost when I Advent with the others too, though. So I think I don't. I think the counter boost. I don't think it's a necessity. That one doesn't counter boost. And Gearus counter boost Mothra. Mothra just core boost a lot. And then can heavy exhaust. So I'm thinking of Soul Draw. I'm thinking of 84. I'm thinking of 65. 65 is just kind of the lazy option. I don't feel like putting in Godzilla 60. I don't think putting in anything like Godzilla 94. It pulls the deck in an opposite direction of core you don't want to put there. Yes, you might be able to core boost too, but in retrospect to the rest of everything, you core boost, but you want to be consistent with your drawing. And I feel like you can do other things to be consistent with your drawing in this deck. I think that's kind of your priority, is getting your cards all together. So then would I play Soul Draw? But then again, is my only defensive thing to Advent. But let's see here. No, because if I can pay 2 costs with one of those Mirages, that means I can Advent. So I don't really have to be too afraid of Adventing, I guess, or being defensive. Because as long as I have a Mirage out, my Advent is live just by paying 2 costs. So that is essentially a more optimal way for me to go about the way that I want the deck to work. So if that's the case, I don't need the burst card loses its value. So then do I play, because I kind of want to play with the newer cards. And I think I did that with the can't think of its name. Ghidorah deck is that everything in here is a new card. I didn't really go back and play any old cards that I had. Everything is from the new set. So if I play 2 of these bastards, a bastard. Why is such a bastard? 2 of him and 2 of the 1 Rodan and 1 Mothra. I think that might be enough to finish the deck and make me feel pretty confident in the way the deck will work. Because I don't think cards... I don't think bouncing cards or returning cards back from your field to your hand is going to be that beneficial with this deck. I think there's other ways to go with it. And that's honestly what I'm looking forward to, is the different direction that the deck goes in. All right, I think I'm going to go grab it. I'll be right back. Actually, you get to come with me because my microphone is attached on me. So I have obviously a lot of cards, as you can tell, as you can see on the stream. Got a lot of cards, and I am starting to slowly lose my mind over organizing them. They're all in crazy different places, and unfortunately, I've lost my, kind of like I said, my organization. So they're all in different places, and I can't really trust the labels that I have on them either. Most of them are just, well, they're just everything. Where's the one that actually? All right, I'm gonna actually. That's how you damage your boxes. Oh, too short. Can't get to where I want to be. Don't worry, everybody. I'm okay. Just one of my display boxes fell down. It made me sad. Sad. Oh, don't tell me I put all my Godzilla cards somewhere else, or I just don't have sleeves for them all. Oh, here we go. Found them. Coming back on stream, we got one more Rowdy Dinosaur and one more Mothra pal. Everybody say hello to your new Mothra pal, Mothra. The only reason I'm playing this guy is because of the can't end attack stop. That's it. That's it. That's the only reason I'm playing him. I don't even want to play him. I'm that upset. He's not good enough. But 3 Anguirus, 3 Mothra larvae, I think that might be... I think it actually has the ability to be cracked. And the reason why I think it has the ability to be cracked is completely based upon the fact that... Oh no! I think they're going to be cracked because your opponent won't think that you... Well, they won't always know that you have the card in hand, so it's just... I think your bluffing ability goes up incredibly high. Because now your opponent literally has to respect you already have adventing and being like, well, as long as you have 2 core, your advent opportunity could just be still live. It could literally still be live. And for a lot of opposing players, that's terrifying. Like, oh, so you're telling me their main strategy is ready to go? Uh-huh. Well, that's not good for me. Well, I know that. I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me? It's like, you didn't ask. Like, well, what do you expect me to do? It's like, talk to me. You're like, oh, sorting the dick out. Where is my Phyllis? Must be over here. So these two go together. My magic card, my Nexus cards. Yeah, there's barely any of those. My Advent. So I think they follow a very similar thing. 4 counters, 2 counters. Doesn't need any counters, so that's the starter. Your finisher. Your originator. And then just your supporting cast. I guess these guys can stay here. My Biolantes go there. And Gearuses go over here because these all support each other. And this is just the supporting cast at the end. Well, I guess I'll put it before that. Alright. So before I put these in the double sleeves, everybody, we'll go over this. And this will be our last thing that we do for this evening. We'll go over these beautiful, beautiful cards. Take a good peek at them. So we got so I have collected all of the secret baby Godzillas. So I'm playing 3 of the contract advents. 3 contract advent burning Godzilla. Of course, this is your finisher. This is going to be the card that you're going to get the most plussing out of. The Godzilla 1989 Godzilla fighting Biollante. He's not having a good time, but Biolante's really not having a good time either. Why can't stepbrothers just be friends? Junior! I like that they made Junior like actually something. I play 3 juniors. Making Junior actually something that people want to play, something that people care about, playing something that matters to them more, that has more value. That could be Junior for me, or the player. So you play 3 Junior. Anguirus, I like the idea that I could bluff with 2 core. The fact that you can bluff your Advent with 2 core is insane. 3 Anguirus, the opportunity to Nexus Crush, the opportunity to counter boost. It's crazy. And then you play 3 Mothra too of the larva because he does the same thing, but he's a larva. And then they summon him for free. It's just ridiculous. Now, this Biolante is also good. He counts himself as Godzilla. He counter boosts, and then he can heavy exhaust. He's just all around good. He's gonna help your deck out. Now, 3 Heisei, or original Godzilla. It's not the Heisei one. Godzilla 54. The consistency is ridiculous with the card. The ability for you to counter boost, it just does everything you could want in a card. Those are the cards that you cherish with consistency. I'm playing 2 of this guy. He might be able to help me draw maybe twice. He counter boosts you, but most importantly, he can be a finishing card. So I am going to keep him in for now. We'll see what the next set has to offer. Not necessarily my proudest moment. Probably coming out. 3 Godzilla Earths. 3 double X rare Godzilla Earths. Now, this card is really hard to play. That's exactly why I'm playing everything I can to counter boost, no matter how insignificant it is. I want to be able to drop this card. I want people to be like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And I just want to win with it. And of course, you got to play Godzilla Phyllis. Probably the easiest way you're going to play your Godzilla Earth is with that card. You just got to draw them together. We're going to play a little defensive option Burst over here. I think it's Burst Flame? Yep, I was right. Burst Flame. And then 3 of the Kaiju King emerges. Obviously, it works with everything in the deck. Godzilla's. I'll read you the revival version. So, when the opposing hand increases by opposing effect, you counter boost 1 and refresh a Godzilla you control. Probably one of the dumbest abilities that you could ever consider. You plus, everything works out. Your Godzillas can't return at level 2. Your Godzillas can't be returned to the hand or deck by opposing effects. Also, only up to 3 cards can be discarded from your deck by opposing effects per turn. Saves against the Angels. Oh, this deck's so cool. I'm so hyped, y'all. This is so lit. This deck is truly spectacular. And like, there are other cards that I can play that are just so much better than that card. I'm just being stubborn for now, everybody. I'll probably take it out. I'm just waiting for now. All right, now I'm gonna make sure I keep all of the proxies separated. I am going to now build my Destroya deck, or my Godzilla deck, and put it in these sleeves. Just having a protected deck, everybody. But it's cool that I can kind of have these decks that are like kind of built floating around together, because it's like, hey, you're ready to go too? They're like, yeah, are you ready to go? I'm like, yeah, kind of. We just gotta get our translations. We just gotta a couple fine tuning things that I gotta do. And I'm not really bothered by that, really. I'm really excited to try and test these decks out a little bit. Really get more comfortable with the Contract Avid keyword, the gimmick. And understand, too, because there no doubtably is going to be another Godzilla set. I'm surprised that the premium Bandai set that they chose for this was a booklet, because they so much easier could have just done a playmat deck box with special sleeves. I am pretty disappointed that they chose not to do that, but obviously there's still time to do that. And the best part about there being time for them to do that, it all kind of comes down to having the understanding that it could still be on the table. Now, I know a lot of people like to talk about the licensing about the Godzilla set. I get it. I get that it's expensive, but I also get, you also got to look at just the prices of some of these older Godzilla cards and how much people like fourth form Godzilla, secret rare. It's probably like $200 now. Good thing I got mine when they were 100. Still one of the best cards that we've ever packed on stream. Packing the Amuro was pretty cool though. I got lucky with that. Jet Saber didn't get that. But then I also got pretty lucky and I packed that Mecha Godzilla parallel. I've gotten some really interesting hits out of my Battle Spirits life, but still, one of these days, hopefully I get a lottery card. I want a lottery card. Give me a secret double X. That would make me happy. 3 coyotes in the penalty box. Oh my gosh. Alright, let me check the chat. Anyone live in the chat? No one's live in the chat? Everyone's dead? Don't be dead. Just get a little bit more livelier in the chat. That's all I ask. All right. Here we go. I sound like Mario, eating Cheerios from my breakfast. You think you're fast, but you're slow. I'm building Battle Spirits Godzilla. Undercover double low. I'm a killer, licensed to kill James Bond. Now I got Godzilla Phyllis. He's gonna nuke you. What you gonna do? Get nuked. Ran into 2 twins. Got duped. You're a little kid. Hi, you. Man, this deck is just gonna be so much fun for us to play. I'm really hoping for another Godzilla set. So if they did a Mothra Batra larva, a Biolante seed form or something. Thinking about some of the, like, it's really hard because Rodan is just a supporting character, and that I've always been disappointed that like Rodan seems like it has so much, there's so much potential, but it's just never explored. Destroy is one of the big bads. I mean, honestly, Space Godzilla could work, but I get it how like they've done a lot of like form changes for a lot of things, and how some of them like they grow into bigger spirits, more dangerous spirits, and that's how the decks work. Sometimes that can be fun. Other times it's like, really, do I really have to do this? Because I don't really wanna. Don't wanna. Mom, don't make me go outside. But I mean, it's a lot of adventing that these new decks do, and I think advent is fun into a point. Then you're like, literally all I do is advent. But the best part about this deck is that you don't need your Soul Core to Advent. You literally can just, as long as you have Anguirus or Mothra, you just send your core and do your stuff. And that's my favorite part. Is you literally just get to do your stuff. Alright. It's put together, everybody. We're going to go through this. And then we're going to call it a night. We've gone through and we've seen so many exciting cards. So many fantastic cards. I'm really excited for us to look into this. Alright. So, here we go. 3 Baby Godzilla. This is your contract Advent Spirit. I think I already went over that. Let's show everything off again one more time. Burning Godzilla. Violante and Godzilla. Godzilla Jr. Little Goji. Novalance's favorite. 3 Anguirus. 3 Larva. 3 Violante. 3 original Godzilla 54. 2 Dancers. No Prancers. Maybe this thing prances. 3 Godzilla Earths. How is it not focusing? It's too beautiful. 3 Phyllis. 2 Bursts. And 3 Nexus. So this deck's very low on the Nexus and Magic card department. But at the end of the day, and it's kind of okay because all you're doing is adventing anyways. All you're doing is sending your soul to the trash, blowing stuff up, getting it out of your face, and keeping the game going. That was so much fun. I had a blast building these decks. I'm so glad everybody was here to watch the stream, see the different cards, and overall just like hang out. It was a really good time. I'm glad you could all make it. I'm glad that you took the time out of your day to come here. Pray to God that you're not a bot, that you're not all bots. But this has been Neon, Omen, building Godzilla, maxing out Godzilla decks. It was a great time. Nice Thanksgiving Eve stream. I will see you at the next stream. Take care, everybody.